Welcome to 90210 Universe, a podcast dedicated to showcasing unique, creative, and diverse humans who are making their mark by living their legacies. Visionaries who took and take action daily. We all have a story. Here, we share ours to inspire, move, and empower others. It's okay to face challenges as we all journey through survival, thriving, and succeed in life. So join us as we spotlight rock stars who navigate the roller coasters of life and use their uniqueness to show that if they can do it, so can you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of 90210 Universe. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Barrett Matthews, and I'm elated to have you here. We're gracious to you for even taking the time to watch or listen to our podcast, however you may be consuming it today. We thank you for that. The 90210 Universe is brought to you by 90210 Enterprise. So we're glad to have you here with us today. And I am so glad that I get to bring on your guest for today, because guess what? She is also one of the hosts of 90210 Universe podcast. So you will be seeing her interviewing some people just like you're seeing me interview people. So I want to tell you a little bit about her. And these are some things that are vital to the core. She is a person who loves God. And that hits me because I love God as well. So that hits me. She's also a person who loves her family. I mean, who doesn't love that? She loves her family. And this is the part that really should stick with everybody, especially if you are a part of the 90210 universe. She loves making an impact, and she wants to make an impact not only on her family, but for everyone else in the world. So I bring to you none other than Michele Wilson. Michele, welcome to 90210 Universe. I feel so funny saying that to you since you're one of the hosts of the show as well. But welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Barrett. I'm so excited to be here and also having this conversation with you today. It's such an honor to be one of the hosts, especially with you and Natalie and Aaron, and then also just being able to share our stories. It's just amazing how we came together. So thank you.
It is. And I want you to first, before we get into the whole 90210 universe, I want you to tell everyone, who is Michele Wilson?
So Michele Wilson, I'm in Southern California, was born and raised here, and I'm a mother. I have a a brother and a sister. So I'm a family of three, and then my mom and dad. My mother passed about 10 years ago, so I miss her dearly. But I'm a preacher's daughter, pretty much. My dad's been a deacon for 30, oh no, actually 42 plus years. So I was raised in the church, and I was one of those kind of forced and dragged to the church. And then I kind of left the church. And now I'm back in the church, loving God. As you said, I really do love God. And I also was a teenage mom. So I feel like I've been a mom all my life. My oldest is 42. I have a 35, and my youngest is going to be 21 on Monday. So I'm really excited. But God put me on a special mission about almost 15, 16 years ago with my youngest son who has his special needs. He has a chronic illness and autism. So about 15 years ago, I became a full-time caregiver to my son.
Mm.
And that just really changed the trajectory of my life because I really needed to be home with him on a full-time basis, but I still needed to make an income. So that's kind of my journey. I'm a mompreneur. I love business. And just as you said, I just love helping people. I come from a family that all my life, we were helping people. So that's me to the core. It's just I want to make an impact on the world.
Well, you mentioned about dealing with your son and having to make an income. What did you do? And first of all, how challenging was that? And what did you do to make the income?
So I found myself, what happened was, as I said, when he was 6 years old, he was rushed to the hospital. And I found that, they didn't know what was going on. He had a lot of issues when he was young, but we were actually 5 months in the hospital. So I lived in the hospital with my son for those 5 months as he was getting diagnosed and treated. So actually my first company, well, not my first, I've actually been an entrepreneur since my high school years. So I can't really
Okay,
say I've
okay.
all my life. Yeah. So I've been like a single mom working 2 jobs, went to college, but I always had seemed like I was always having a side hustle, right?
You
Doing
hustle. I'm gonna say you
yeah.
hustle. Okay, okay.
I was always hustling, but in this particular moment, I had to make the decision whether I was going to stay at home with not home, stay in the hospital with my son and be there for his treatment or go back to work. And I decided I was going to stay in the hospital. So I actually started a network marketing company. It was legal services
Okay.
from his bedside. And literally, it was my phone and my laptop. I had an amazing sponsor, amazing team that helped me, and so I
Mhm.
built my one of my businesses from my son's bedside room.
Good.
I still have that business today, but that's really what really started me on this journey as really being a serious entrepreneur. Before, like I said, I had some side hustles back in the day. I always knew I wanted to work for myself, but I had the choice. There was that choice. I really needed to make some money, and so I really put my head, down, and that's when I really looked at spiritual development and personal development. That's what really helped me get through the journey because there were sleepless nights, especially in the hospital. So I really learned how to build my business from my son's hospital room because over that period of time, we were in and out of the hospital. Gosh, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It was every time he gets ill or gets an infection, we have to go in the hospital. So I
Mm.
say I'm a laptop mom, mompreneur because I bring my laptop. I learned how to, work from my laptop, and that was really my first business, and through that business, I got into business coaching because I love business, and just now I'm looking forward to helping moms who are in the same situation that I was in, are
Oh,
still
that's
in.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, and I can see in your eyes how passionate you are about that. I love that. I love that. Now, when you started with the network marketing business and going into that, and I want people who are paying attention to this to understand that she had a why that was bigger than herself. It was her son. So,
Yes.
how challenging was that getting started in that?
It was very challenging, especially when I'm in a hospital room with bells ringing, right?
Mm.
And, as I said, sleepless nights, didn't know what was going on with my son, and as you said, that was my passion, that was my why, I wanted to be there for him. So, really, what I loved about network marketing is that they have a system, every business has a system, so all I had to do was plug into the system and really understand that system, and we have what we call core commitments that we did every
Yeah.
day, and it's making phone calls. And one thing I love about network marketing is all about leverage, right? I was in
Mhm.
business for myself, but not by myself. So I learned about
Right.
leverage in this particular company. I also learned, as I said, about personal development. And even though the journey was difficult, I was surrounded by so many amazing mentors and just people who just loved what they do. It's amazing when you work with people who love what they do. It's very encouraging no matter what you're going through. So that's how I kinda got through it, there was times, yeah, I wanted to quit so many times because I didn't think I could do
Every entrepreneur does. It's like
right, but that's where I said, God first. God really, he gave me
Mhm.
the strength to get through it. I really can say that if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would mentally been able to get through the challenges over the year that I've gone through with my son, and he's also been an inspiration for me, because
Yeah.
you have this little guy, he's fighting for his life, and it's like, how can I give up? I can't, I gotta be there
He
for him.
loves his mama.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, it's funny that you're mentioning that because God is working because the day I saw someone sent me a video, and it was about asking God, "Why me? Why'd you do this to me? Why do I?" And it's basically saying that you were chosen. You were
Exactly.
chosen for this because God saw something in you that you can handle. And it was amazing. And I sent that to a friend of mine who really this week was just telling me how she's just having a hard time with things. So that was that the fact that you brought that up was very impactful. I appreciate you doing that because God working through you to send a message to me. So thank you just for
Yeah,
that.
I've always thought with that because I never said why me, but I was always thankful that he chose me. As you
Mhm.
said, I was like, wow, I'm honored that he chose me because he knew I was going to do the right thing by my son, So I'm always thankful and grateful, even though the journey was hard. I see myself that, as you said, I was chosen for this, and God doesn't give you more than you can handle.
There you
So,
go. There you
and
go.
sometimes I'm like, God, really? But still,
I
I'm
used
so
to be
honored.
I used to be in network marketing years ago, and I remember these 2 ladies came into the office, complaining to the upline that everybody was saying no. Everybody saying no. She said, "Let me see your hands." They held her hands. She said, "All right, bend down. Let me see your head." They said, "Well, you don't have any nails in your hands, any thorns in your head. You haven't been through anything."
Absolutely right.
So I was like, okay, point taken. Point taken. So how was the transition into the how do I say the business sector outside of the network marketing? How was that for you? And was that something you wrestled with?
It wasn't really something I wrestled with. Actually, I had a background and I actually had other companies prior to my network
Okay,
marketing. So I
okay.
was like a solopreneur, So,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I always loved systems and when it comes to businesses. And I found myself when it was in network marketing, it was an easy transition because I worked with small business owners and group employment. They have different areas. So I worked with small business owners and actually I found that even though I was providing legal services, they still needed help with just the structure of their business. So they were
Mhm.
always like, "Hey, Michelle, can you help me with that, this, and can you help me with that?" And so that's how my business really developed because I had all
Got
this knowledge
it.
from before, just running businesses that it was just a natural fit. So I just found myself going outside of just my network marketing company and helping these small business owners. And then that's how I developed my business,
So
through that.
it was a lateral move for you
It
because
was just a lateral
it was in
move,
your
right?
wheelhouse. That's
Yeah,
great.
exactly. Yeah,
That is great.
and I'm kind of the person that loves growing. I love challenges. That's, I'm always growing and I'm always, accepting the new challenge. So I think that was another reason why it was kind of easy for the transition to happen. Yeah.
And I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that you are also a TV host and producer.
I am, and that's part of the journey. As I said, through this 15 years, what I found out that I've developed over the years is how do I balance, you know, taking care of my son and caregiving and still being a entrepreneur. I say mompreneur.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of things I learned over the years through mentors, a lot of programs I took. And one thing I had to learn how to do is really redefine balance for me and build a business that worked for me because I was trying to follow all the gurus and it just wasn't working for me. So that's how the Mompreneur Conversation Show was developed because, I want to empower moms. I believe that we want fulfillment. We love our children, but we still have, desires that we want to fulfill. And so I want to be that light
Yeah.
that in and just bring what I've discovered in my journey to other moms so that they don't have to I would really felt isolated a lot of times. Even though I had a lot of people around me,
Mhm.
I couldn't really share with them what I was going through when it came to with my son and caregiving because it's really delicate when you're talking about medical issues and so forth
Mhm,
like that.
mhm.
So I always kind of felt like I had to hide that side of me because I didn't really want people to know what was I going through. So my goal is to really build a community where we can share our challenges and we can understand each other, but yeah, be uplifting and supporting in what we want to do in our journey.
So now my background, like I said, my background is media. I have a media production company. How did you get into I want to have a TV show and produce
Wow.
that?
I know, isn't that so interesting? So in my journey, I remember actually in my company when I was working in the network marketing, I had an opportunity. These two gentlemen said, "Hey, we would like you to be on our show. We want to interview you." And I'm like, "Sure." And then from there, they're like, "Hey, we want you to be a co-host." I was doing a community, and I wasn't even getting paid. It was just something I was doing. Didn't
Right,
know it
right,
was
right. That's how it
preparing me
happens
for
to all
this,
of
right?
us.
Right. You don't even know it's preparing you for this, right? So for a couple of years, I worked with these two gentlemen. They were amazing. We would go around the community, doing interviews. We also had a studio we went in, and that's kind of where it started. And then actually during COVID, right before COVID, I knew that I used to drive between, gosh, 20 and 30,000 miles a year. And I wanted to stop driving. So I wanted to really bring my business online. So that's really where it started. And then I just had these opportunities along the way. One of them is Mindatorium. I was working with this film company
Mhm.
for a few years. And then when COVID hit, we were doing interviews and it just kind of evolved. I just was, asked to do this, asked to do that. And then this amazing lady, Dr. Wright Letitia, I think you might know her.
I know her
She
very
was
well.
like, yeah, she was like, Michelle, you should start, your own TV show. You have a unique niche, a unique community. And I believe that, you would be a service, a service to a community that's underserved. And that's why I took up the challenge. So I, was able to have once again another coach and mentor to really help me get my own network and, TV show. And I never
Yeah.
thought, I mean, that was not in my thought process or wheelhouse, but I'm always open and I always say yes when someone presents something, even though I don't know. I figure it out as I go. So that's one of
That's
the,
the way to do it.
yeah, I figure out as I go. So I don't have to have all the answers when I get started. So that's why I said yes to 90210 Universe. I'm
There
like,
you
yeah,
go.
you
And,
know?
and speaking of that, we're going to talk about that. We're going to take a short break right now, and
Okay.
we're going to give some homage to one of our valued sponsors. But we're going to come back talking more with Michele Wilson on the 90210 Universe podcast. So I thank you guys for staying tuned, and we'll be right back right after this.
Welcome to 90210 Enterprise, where your dreams take flight. Join an exclusive community of over 20,000 professionals, unlocking access to world-class business consulting and powerful networking opportunities, with expertise spanning 12 specialized sectors, including network, business and ventures, real estate, finance, and more. Choose from our tailored access plans, corporate access and executive access. Unlock exclusive benefits of corporate and executive access, including a 30-minute orientation with Dr. Natalie Forrest, Executive Director of 90210 and President of the Media Vertical, and a 45-minute consultation with Ashkan Tabibnia, Founder and CEO of 90210 Enterprise for Corporate Access members. Executive Access members receive a 30-minute consultation. As a member, you enjoy access to special opportunities to expand your reach, participate, and collaborate with our partners, such as Viran Depeche, and have your message be shared globally. Are you ready to turn your dreams into reality? Join us today and experience the difference. Contact us at 90210enterprise@gmail.com.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to your 90210 Universe podcast, where we showcase unique, creative, diverse humans who are living their legacies. Today's guest right now is our very own, and I say our very own, Michele Wilson, because she is not only part of 90210 Universe, she is part of our 90210 sponsor, 90210 Enterprise, our sponsor for the podcast. And on that note, Michele, what is your role? What do you do with 90210 Universe, and how did you even get 90210 Enterprise, and how did you get started with it?
Well, with 90210 Enterprise, I've been working with Ashkan Tabibian for about 6 years in different projects. I
Okay.
remember the first time we met, he just, I don't know, we just really clicked. And so through the years, we're always like, I'm working on this, I'm working on that. And I just, he has such a big heart that I trust him so
Yes.
much. And so when he said, hey, he's building kind of like, I feel like an empire of small, I'm gonna say small entrepreneurs, but just entrepreneurs coming together to help each other grow in their businesses and really building a strong business community, I said yes. And so with the 902 Enterprise, I'm part of, I'm actually the CEO of operations. So I do that. And then also I am the president of funding. So we're, creating a funding. And then I think Dr. Natalie just reached out and said, hey, you want to be part of the podcast? Didn't even know what I was saying yes to be honest. But I know Dr. Natalie, so I was like, yes. And then I don't know, we just came together. It's amazing how, the last couple of months we've just been working together. Just, we each say, I have this gift, this is what I can do. And we came together and we're building this podcast. And I think it's just because of the love of helping other people.
Yeah, I
That's why
agree.
it's coming together so nicely.
I don't think if you didn't if none of us loved helping people, this would have never come together.
No, I don't think so. So yeah.
Yeah, because this is definitely a labor of love, putting this all together, and it's fun too. I tell people, because I produce podcasts, and I tell them, don't do it if it's not fun.
Yeah, I know, and that's your specialty. I know that that's, and I think it's just a great way to, as a subject matter expert or your specialty, you'll
Yeah,
be able to share your knowledge. It's
I
it's
agree.
not
I
always
agree.
about sales, you want to give value first. And so I think a podcast is a great way to do it, right? And
Yeah.
then people get to know who you are through podcasts. I think it's a great
So
way.
in your role with 90210 Enterprise, what is it? What's the main impact that you want to make?
Once again, it's just really I love collaboration. I love alliances, right? And we all, oh my gosh, even in the last couple of weeks of just inviting on the guests and so forth, just meeting people and learning what they do, I always learn something from someone else.
Mhm.
And so for me, I'm kind of like that explorer. I love discovering new things. And then when I find something, I want to share with others. And so it's really, I believe, small businesses are the backbone of our nation and community and
That's
so forth.
true.
So, it's really to help them, who is the person that you want to serve? And I want to go out there and find that person so I can help you grow your business. That's my biggest purpose in
I love
joining this community. Yeah.
Is there a special relationship or something that you've done with 90210, any experience that this stays in your head that it really resonates with you?
Oh my gosh, there's
But
so many.
you've been with for quite some time now, so
Yes, I
you
have.
got
You
some
know what?
stories to tell.
I do. I think the biggest story is that it's that commitment because, being a entrepreneur is a roller coaster ride.
Mhm.
It doesn't always turn out the way you think it's going to be,
Oh,
but it's just having that burning desire and never giving up. So seeing the evolution of the people around us in the community, like I said, we've worked on a few projects and I'm kind of in and out, but just to say when someone has a purpose and a dream and they don't give up and to see where they were and where they are now and where they're going, I think that's amazing. So that's the story that I love seeing is just seeing people who are just so committed to their purpose and they're not going to give up
do
no
you
matter
have
what.
any particular stories on it? I'd love to hear some of those.
Oh, well, of course, it's like Ashkin, he's definitely a role model. We're going to be getting ready for our Mindatorium, or they're going to be doing a big reveal pretty soon. That's one of, and then that's with the 902 universe, but then also with just even my personal experience with people that I work with. One thing I've been a part of is a community called Word for the Day Mastermind, and it's a
Okay.
15-year-old community, but
Wow.
we meet 15 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, and we talk about right now we're doing Atomic Habits. We've been in Atomic
Okay.
Habits for about the last year, but what we do is we coach each other on how to really succeed in life, in your business and professional. So I just love being a part of those and just seeing people
Yeah.
grow in their businesses. So I wanted to say if it's just one, it's just seeing people grow. I mean, I do have stories that I could share, but right now it's just I'm so much about community, right? So I see communities just being strong and committed and how individuals are growing, through the community. I think that's just so amazing.
I mean, a 15-year-old group, that in itself is amazing to me. Most don't
Yeah.
last that long.
Yeah, and I get up at 6:30. Our meeting is 6:30 in the morning here on Pacific. It's a 15-minute call, but I've been doing it for almost 15. We're going on 14 years now. So, and we just lead the call. It's on Clubhouse. So, but I remember at one point I kind of took a break for a few months, and I
Mm.
didn't realize how much it was feeding me because it allowed me to
Mm.
be able to, show up and you don't know what's in your head sometimes until you say something and you're
Yeah.
talking about it, right? So I love that community because we're just there to support each other in our personal growth and our professional growth. So that's one of the
Yeah. I get
communities
it.
that I belong to. Yeah.
And as you say that, I'm thinking that anything that you've been doing that long as it's not negative, it has to feed you.
Right. It has. And it becomes part of you,
Yeah, yeah.
especially when we're learning concepts. And we always say what it is that's really unique about it. It's not just a motivational call, it's a development call. And what that means is that we look at words, terms, and concepts first and identify it. And we, as a common group, we kind of agree like, this is what this means. And this is how we're going to apply it. Because, in the American language or English language,
Yeah.
word could mean several different things, right? So we want
True.
to make sure we're all on the same page of what this meaning, because we talk about achievement, success. So we all want to have like a common meaning of what that really means, and then we talk about how we can use it and apply it in our lives. So it's called common language. It's kind of like we're all
Mhm.
doing the same thing, and I think that's how come we've been in the community for so long because I've seen gosh, my friend Kimberly Todd Tellis, and we have Dr. Carla Gray and Val Medley. They're just amazing. And we just talk about, what we're doing and how we're
Yeah.
growing. So it's just amazing. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Like, it got me intrigued. It's 6 in the morning. Wow, that's amazing. I'm like
Well, we're a nationwide call. That's why. So we have, people from West Coast, East Coast,
the
Central,
East Coast
South.
is fine because it's 9.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I must have
You're
loved this call
committed,
because
girl. You're
yeah, we are
committed.
committed. And before our founder, her co-founder, who passed, Miss Debbie George Fritz, who really co-founded the group, and we actually kind of, it's a legacy call, but we used to get up at 5:30 just to do planning for this call. So I'm telling you about, I'm dedicated to personal growth.
You are dedicated. I will never question you, and I will check anyone who does.
Right. So yeah, I used to get up at 5:30 in the morning just to do a planning call, and I know, and it was just because of the love of just really, it's all about, one of the things I learned in this group is like the number one responsibility of a leader is to help someone grow. And so that's what I've adopted, is just helping someone grow. And
Yeah.
that's leadership means to me as a mom.
I'm with you.
Right.
I always tell people a leader is not defined by how many people are following him, but how many leaders they can develop.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so that's how I see it. Now, you've mentioned a couple times, you've mentioned Mindatorium. So please, let's talk about that.
Mindatorium, it's an entertainment platform, but it's unique, and it's like I said, it's evolved over the years. And Mindatorium is about inspirational, motivational content. And it's actually going to be revealed soon. But Mindatorium is where just we've come together as a community, and we want to just, it's entertainment and personal development together, but it's a platform where we can share our content and also be able to monetize our content, not only as individuals, but people who are sharing the content, they're able to monetize too. So it's just a platform and a group of individuals globally actually now.
Okay.
Some people love, making films, some people, speakers, coaches. It's a wide variety, but it's all about the positivity in entertainment. We want to bring positive content and inspirational content to the world. Yeah.
So as far as the content, you got me intrigued with this because it's media. And so what type of when you say educational and positive content, what type of examples would we be talking about?
For example, so the founder of that is Henny Morales, and so it started out with his story. He was a teenage kid, kind of got in trouble, and so he wrote a book, and then he made some movies off of his book. But how he turned his life around, right? About mentorship. We've actually had done a movie about suicide prevention, right? So we brought that, wrote it, produced a movie about that.
Mhm.
And then now we're bringing on other different type of movies. And then we also have, coaches maybe it's a fitness coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or so we have coaches too. So it's movies. We have movies. We also have people are being interviewed, their stories and how they succeeded in life.
Yeah.
And so, and it's I mean, the concept's been around for, I think it's been 6 or 7 years, but now they're finally launching. They finally found the platform that's going to really bring it all together. So and I use that as an example because 6 or 7 years they had this dream, and now it's
Yeah.
finally coming to fruition. So I think
Yeah.
it's
I like that.
yeah. So that's what's really amazing about that.
And it's funny because you get my mind going now because I happen to know, I mean, actually, of this person, but as a person who produces films that all have a positive message. And when I say of him, because we've all seen a movie about him, and that is Coach Carter. Remember the movie
Yeah,
Coach Carter?
I do.
I know the real Coach Carter.
Oh my gosh, how amazing. That's so cool.
And he actually does produce films that have positive messages in the film. So I may have to get him connected with the
Yes,
you see how this
definitely.
universe works, everyone? You see how the
Yes,
universe works, the 90210 universe? So I'm just saying, if you
yeah. And that's all about it. It's about the conversations that we have in the universe. And it's like, hey, I know someone that, hey, this might be a good fit for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 'cause I think it could end up being something because I met him years ago. I'm sure you're familiar with Dr. George Fraser. He does the Power Network
Yes.
conference, and he was there, and
Wow.
he said for some reason he likes me. So we just sat down and talked, and I have his number. I don't talk to him probably like once a year, but still, I give him a call. He said, "I remember you." So I just say, "Hey, I may need to talk to him about this."
Yeah, absolutely. Let's connect and talk offline. But
Right,
definitely
exactly, and talk offline.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. So, before we wrap up, I wanna ask you, what is next for Michele Wilson?
So not only the collaboration and alliance with the 9021 universe, but as I said, I believe I was put on this planet for a purpose and a reason, like my journey. And through the journey is really helping moms who are raising special needs children
Okay.
who want to start a purpose-driven business. Because I'm telling you, you know, when you're taking care of your child, you feel isolated a lot, because you're so focused. So I want to just really build that community of moms that can say, "Hey, I love my children, I love my children, love my son, love my daughter, but I also have the burning desires to do a little bit more in my life." And so I want to be able to provide that platform and bring the resources. As I said, over my journey, I've gained a lot of resources and skills, and I want to just guide them and say, "Hey, you can go," like you said, just, I know someone who could probably help you out. So I want
Right, right, right.
to be that resource center. So, I have my Mompreneur Conversation show, but I also have a coaching program that I'm looking to launch. And so just really, that's who I really want to serve, is moms who are raising special needs children, because I think they're special moms. I think they're superheroes that are just not highlighted enough.
Yeah.
And, just because I'm one of them. So,
Well, why not?
yeah.
Why not? It's not like they don't deserve it. So hey, why not?
They just
So Michelle, I want to thank you for being here today on the 90210 Universe podcast. And this just seems so weird still because you're a part of this podcast itself. But I still want to thank you for being a guest on here today. And I would love to do this again sometime, but I can't wait to get out to the West Coast and we can hang out and meet in person.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for taking your time to, like I said, it's kind of weird that we're both hosts, but I think it's amazing that we get to learn more about each other as we grow this podcast. I'm really excited.
I'm looking forward to it too. So thank you so much. And you have a wonderful day.
Okay, God bless.
All right, everybody, look, I want to make sure that you show Michelle some love as well. And if you want to take part in what we're doing here at 9021 Enterprise, who is our sponsor for the podcast, we welcome you to do this. And if you'd like to be a guest on the 90210 Universe podcast, we have ways for you to do that as well. We want to make sure you check out our show notes and share the podcast with everyone. Let them know. Also, we want you to subscribe and download this podcast. So we're on YouTube. We're on all the major podcast sites. Make sure you're commenting. We'd love to read your comments. We'd love to engage with you as well. So thank you everyone for joining us here on the 90210 Universe. I am Dr. Barrett Matthews, and we will see you next time. Have a great, great day.
Thank you for joining us today in the 90210 Universe, a podcast dedicated to showcasing unique, creative, and diverse humans, who we are, living their legacies, making a difference, and thereby being the change, supporting and inspiring others. Join our universe by subscribing to this podcast, follow us on social media, and contact us to join the 90210 Enterprise community to elevate your life and legacy today.